Welcome to your next social clone project. In this project, we're going to be taking bits and pieces from other social sites to build out our own platform. And our site is basically going to be a social outer space fan community site. So people who are big fans of things that have to do with outer space can come here and be part of the site. This clone project also takes full advantage of some of Django's 1.11's newest features, such as login view and logout view. So the basic idea of the site is that users can create groups on various topics that have to do with outer space, things like SpaceX, NASA, Pluto, etc. They can then create posts inside those groups, and they can also leave and join other groups. Let's discuss a few of the key features. So as I mentioned, there are groups in this website similar to things like subreddits, except we're just calling them groups. There's also multiple users and authorizations, just like any social media site or social network site. There's also posts inside the group, similar to posting a tweet. We're also going to be linking user profiles with an @ symbol. So if you ever see a username somewhere, there's a little @ symbol attached to it. You can click on that symbol and then go straight to their profile. And there's also multiple applications, unlike the previous clone project. Let's take a quick peek at the actual project. And remember, you can download the zip file in this lecture as a resource, which has all the code that we're going to be needing for this project. Let's jump to the browser and check out the project. Alright, this is what the website actually looks like. It's called Star Social, and let's say it's the best community for all things on outer space. And one of the funny little features of it is with JavaScript and CSS, we can create stars and let them bounce around, etc. So the main idea is that we could sign up as a new user, and then we get this sign up page. So we have our display name, so we'll call this SpaceFan1 as our display name. Let's just give this an email address of hello@gmail, and then we'll say test password, and we need to confirm our password. So we'll say test password. Hopefully I didn't mess that up. There we go. And now let's log in. So we'll say SpaceFan1 and my test password. Log in. And it says now I'm logged in. Go to groups. So I'll select go to groups, and I can see there's some groups already created here for me. So I can create a new group, and then it will tell me to create a new group. So we'll give this group something that says like NASA rocks, and then we'll say people who like NASA. So we'll create that group. So we can then join the group. So it has no members right now, so we'll join the group, and now we can see it has a member count of 1. So there's no posts in this group yet. Now you can notice that we have a post button, a group button, and a create group button. We'll hit on groups, and now we can see in the group list we have my new group, NASA rocks, and then the second group. So what we can end up doing is posting to any of these. So if I click on post, it allows me to do a new message. So I'll say first post in NASA, ! And then I'll choose this NASA rocks group, hit post. And then I can see here, I'm not super zoomed in, but hopefully you can see this. I'll zoom in a little more, that I have the first post in NASA SpaceFan, and I can see @SpaceFan1. So I have this little @ symbol. I have the time I posted and in NASA rocks. And if I hit on @SpaceFan1, there's my post history @SpaceFan1, and it's basically, since I only have one post, there it is. And I can also delete posts. So I can hit delete here. It says, are you sure you want to delete this post? I can either confirm the delete or cancel it. So I'll just confirm that delete, etc. And now it takes me back to just a list of all the posts currently available for me. So again, hit groups. I can see members. I can join other groups, etc. All right, there's a lot to this project, even though it seems pretty simple. On the back end, there's a lot going on, but it's going to feel like a natural extension of our blog project. So let's discuss various things to know about this project and how to approach it. I'll hop back to the presentation slides now. So as I previously mentioned, you can download the zip files in this lecture for all of the code. And this project workflow will also be a bit different than the previous project. We're going to be focusing on a more realistic development process where we build out applications one by one, versus the previous project where we kind of built all the views first and then all the templates, etc. We're actually going to focus on applications one at a time. And this approach we take here is definitely going to be more realistic, but by its nature, it's also going to contain a lot more debugging, especially because some applications depend on other applications. And while debugging isn't very fun when first learning a concept, by now you've learned enough that you should feel really comfortable enough to debug often. So keep that in mind as you approach these videos. You're going to see us debugging a lot, but it's definitely part of a realistic development process. Okay, Another note is that we're also going to be using some outside libraries, so keep this in mind if you happen to just immediately run the file that's in the resource for this lecture. If you don't have the right modules installed, you may get something that says no module named, etc. Then these can be easily fixed with just a simple pip install in your environment or in your virtual environment. And we'll do this in the video lectures as well as we run into those modules. So keep that in mind. If you get something that says maybe no module named Bootstrap 3, then you may have to install Bootstrap 3. Okay, this project is also specifically designed to feel like an extension of the previous blog clone project. And what I really want to kind of get across here is thinking of social media websites as extensions of simple blogs will really help your understanding as far as building a social media website with Django. So remember that we created a text blog for a single user, really similar to medium.com if it was just a simple single user blog site. And what we're going to try to do is expand this concept of a blog site to an actual social media site by simply expanding to multiple users. So let's think of this in some examples. Instagram, you could technically think of as just a photo blog with multiple users. Twitter is literally just a microblog service with, again, multiple users. YouTube is just a video blog service with multiple users. Don't be fooled, however, it does take a lot more work than I'm kind of throwing out here to build sites like these, especially at scale, but the basic premise is the same. We can expand the idea of a single blog for a single user, attach multiple users to it, and now we're dealing with a social media network, especially with things like Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube, where they're especially focused on a particular type of post or blog. Okay, so these ideas are still there. More importantly, you now have awesome Django skills, and we're going to learn even more, so let's get started building out our site of Social Star Network. Thanks, and I'll see you at the next lecture.